Hello, everybody. This is Julissa. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who is listening right now in the podcast. It is Wednesday, February the 12th, 2025. I wanted to come and share this story with you guys. But before I continue, because this is a sensitive subject, I want to give you a trigger warning, okay? And I also want to say, if you've been feeling maybe sad or depressed in the last couple days, maybe this is not the right episode for you to listen to or to watch. But before I start, I do want to say, if you're gonna go watch something else or listen to something else, if you need prayer, you can always reach out to me for a prayer. You don't even have to say your name. You can just email me, julissa@julissadesigns.com. Okay. So before I continue, I also want to say thank you to everybody who has been subscribing on YouTube, and thank you so much to everybody who follows me using Spotify. So, here we are, you guys, another sad story. A mom, a very young mom, she had three daughters, and she basically turned the gun on her daughters and on herself, okay? So this happened in Wyoming, and I'm going to read to you guys this article. Excuse me, this is a little high. So it says here, Wyoming mother has shoots her four young daughters and killing three, and one of them is in the ICU, and then she turned the gun on herself, okay? Like I said, this is very sad, you guys, so you really don't know what people are dealing with, so be kind always as much as you can. Be kind and go beyond the quick ask. You can always ask for somebody. If you have a relationship with Jesus Christ, always ask people, is there anything I can pray for you, right? These days, it's hard to find people to pray for you. And not only that, what I've found too is that it's hard for people not to, it's so crazy how you have to be careful what you say. I'm laughing because sometimes you have to, like, I don't know if she will give me the grace to pray for this, right? So you're like, I'll ask somebody else because sometimes even your petition can get somebody to give you unsolicited advice. Man, it's just a prayer. You don't have to tell me like all this. Why did you do that? Why do you have to do that? It's like, you ask me if I need prayer. Just be willing to receive and answer and pray for people. If you really want to do it out of love, just you know, maintain that love throughout. When you receive the petition, when you pray for the person, and when you follow up with them and say, hey, so how are things going, right? So it says here, three young girls are dead and another is in serious condition after their mother shot them in the head and then turned the gun on herself, okay? And this happened in Wyoming. The mom who called the police on Monday afternoon, this past Monday, so 2 days ago, to report that her daughters had been shot in the house, she actually called for help, and then she finished up and did that to herself. That is so sad, you guys. And she was 32 years old, and her name is Trangel Harshman. It sounded like there was I think it was a nurse who did something similar. I think in early 23 or something like that. And it was just so sad. Every time you hear about something like this, it's like, how is the enemy operating in that person, obviously in the household? And it's like, wow, people long to, let's just say, to form a family, and then they have a family and everything seems right, and then what happens, right? That's why you always have to be, like I said, always go beyond the, hey, how are things? Ask more questions. If you really care, you can ask more questions. Ask if you need prayers and things like that. I'm looking at photos of the family. Everything looks perfect. Like I said, she was 32 years old. She had four young daughters. And it says here, the woman, whom the local media later identified as 32-year-old Trangel Harshman, told the dispatcher where the girls were located in the house before abruptly cutting the call. Okay, so let me just continue here. I do apologize, I just missed the article here. When the officers arrived, they discovered the girls with the gunshot wounds to their head, along with their mother, who had apparently done the same thing to herself. Only one of the girls, the 7-year-old, survived. Her three sisters, 9-year-old, a 9-year-old, and two 2-year-olds, born less than a year apart, were killed. So basically, one of them survived. So we need to continue to pray for the young girl who survived. You have to also think there is a dad who is going through something so tragic, and at least, if he can have at least one of them with him that will survive and live with him, that would be like really good for him. So the mom was found alive when the police got there, but then she later succumbed to her wounds. Police are still investigating the circumstances behind the tragedy, but the husband said that his wife has been receiving treatment for severe mental health issues, including PTSD and postpartum depression. I mean, she had 4 young girls, okay? And she was just 32 years old, so, and if she was already receiving help for this, that tells you that, maybe she, this is not trying to figure out, like, how come. It's almost like when there was already a problem that was established, that she was dealing with heavy depression, and she was dealing with postpartum and PTSD, like maybe had somebody all the time with her, I mean, it could be so many things that now, it's kind of hard to say anything, but just to like help somebody else out there who's dealing with it, there's always hope, there's always hope. If you don't have close family nearby, there's always like institutions and community that you can ask for help, right? You can probably get like a daycare that will receive the children. I mean, 2 years old, a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. So even like I know there's a lot of like YMCA's and things like that, gyms and things like that offer daycare. And even if you need like a couple hours just to have some time, things like that, that would be another option, right? If you don't have close family members by. So it says here that Cliff Harshman is a biological father of the 2 youngest victims and had been helping raise the older two, one of whom is now clinging to life at Salt Lake City Hospital. Friends have launched a fundraising to help with medical bills. Cliff Harshman, a devoted husband and father of 4 beautiful daughters, has suffered an unimaginable loss, the fundraiser said on the page. It is so sad, you guys. Like I say, if anybody's listening to this right now and you're dealing with something difficult, I can always pray for you. You can always email me, julissa@julissadesigns.com, and submit your prayer requests. It's just, you don't even have to say your name. I'm saying, I know sometimes it's hard. Like I said, I know sometimes it's hard to even find people that will pray for you, right? I'm trying to see. People are putting on the chat saying, wish all the best for the husband and the surviving daughter. And somebody said, how can the husband defend her even though she did that to the children? Listen, like depression, like I told you guys before, depression is something crazy. It's sent straight from the enemy, okay? You have to understand, like, the moment you feel like that, you have to, you have to attack it somehow. Any type of sense of depression, you have to attack it somehow. Attacking meaning going to prayer, right? Put on worship music. It helps a lot to put on worship music. I mean, I was doing something the other day and I put on worship music and I was like, oh, I haven't listened to this, station. I think it was on Sirius FM or something. And I was like, let me put this one. I never listened to them and see, what kind of Christian music they play, right? And out of nowhere, I'm like raising my hands, like within like 10 minutes. It's like you hear like a couple songs, and like the third song, like you're already so in tune with it. This is what worship music does to you, right? You're like raising your hands and praising the Lord. And you're like, I love this radio. I love it. Like you have to really, anytime you feel depressed, something like that, try your best not to dwell in it. And this is not to look down on people who can say to you, oh, I've been dealing with depression for years and years or something like that. Nothing like that, right? I'm just, giving advice and saying, try your best not to dwell in it, because any negative thoughts that come to your mind about who you are, what you look like, right? And the things that you're doing, when it comes to like your personal development, things like that, any negative thoughts like that, they're not from the Lord. And if it's not from the Lord, it's coming from the enemy. And you want nothing to do with the enemy. He doesn't want nothing good for you. The enemy only comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So you always have to attack every time you feel those type of emotions. Attack it immediately. Attack it meaning you start praying. Number one, and ask God, right? And keep saying the joy of the Lord is my strength, right? All these biblical messages that we know, right? And that God reminds us, right? I'm not saying that every day is gonna be like, like every day is gonna be like jolly and things like that. All I'm saying is that whatever comes our way, we know that nothing takes God by surprise, and God knows what you need. So don't worry about it. Don't get depressed if you don't see like results in the moment, or some people are like moving forward, I guess, compared to where you are. Everything is a process. You have to enjoy the process. You have to enjoy the process and know that God knows everything, right? And like I said, the other thing that you can do is listen to worship music. It's amazing, powerful what worshiping the Lord will do for your life. It is amazing, you guys. It's just amazing to know that, like, in heaven, that's what they're doing all the time, worshiping the Lord. And for you to be like, over here, this little person on this earth, like joining in with the angels, that's amazing to me. Worship is amazing. And also, when it comes to music too, you always have to remember, like secular music, you have to be so careful. A lot of the times we look at music that are romantic, right? Especially now, Valentine's Day is coming, and it lands on a Friday too, so everybody's like, it's so special, Valentine's Day, this and the other. Remember too, a lot of these romantic songs that are out there, excuse me, that are very well known, I guess you can say. You always look at the artists and look at their fruit. A lot of these people, they get themselves, when they go into the recording studio, and I'm not just making things up, they come out and say it to you. They'll be like, I've been in the studio for 12 hours, just drinking and smoking, and I came up with this hot hit number one romantic song. Like, look at what inspired that song too, Things like that you have to pay attention to, because out of nowhere, you might find yourself be like, oh wait, why am I so sad? Why am I so sad? I really have, why am I so upset? Everything's going well. Oh, you've been putting on loop that romantic song that is very famous or very well known. Every little thing, right? The enemy is always looking for a door, a door that he can pick through and take over, right? That's why you have to attack any negative thoughts about you. And, especially because these days, with society and magazines and things like that, especially your looks and things like that, that's not you. I mean, you were creating the image of God. Any negative thoughts about that, that's not from the Lord. So you always have to attack like that. Start praying and worshiping, right? So this family, we'll see. I mean, we'll pray and we hope for the best for the young child that is fighting for her life right now. She might need to go through therapy after recovery, meaning like probably the things that she saw, she heard, because she did witness everything too, right? So, it's gonna be a long road for her. So even so, it's gonna be a long road to be there with her dad after going through something so dramatic as this is actually a good thing, right? At least he's not gonna be alone either. So we'll keep the families in prayer, you guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much, everybody who's listening the podcast. Have a good day, everybody. God bless. Hi, everybody. It's Julissa again. One more thing I forgot about this case is that the family, friends and family, they're actually doing a GoFundMe fundraiser, and I'm gonna leave the link here. If you're led to do some type of monetary donation, please do so. And if you cannot, you can always share the link and share on your social media so that other people can help out and join in. Or you can also pray for the family. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless.